Hi everyone, welcome back to another video and welcome back to the epic cowboy build job. So I am down here today. We're finally getting some movement on this job. There's a lot of paperwork and things that had to be sorted out. There's a lot of issues because of things that the last guy did and certain things that weren't filed the right way. So it just made it a bit of a nightmare to get the council back onto the job. So we finally sorted that out. I actually have a visit from the inspector today. Should be here between the next 5 to 30 minutes. So I'm here waiting for him to turn up, and we're going to have obviously a discussion about the state of things and how we're going to move forward. The main thing I think that we have to deal with is the foundations. When I originally took this job on, we had a report from a structural engineer which had all the remedial works that had been flagged up by the council. Once we kind of started the job, we just agreed with the client that basically it didn't make sense sort of sorting out these remedials, and that we just knocked the whole thing down and start again. So basically, at this point we are down to foundations. We took 2 walls out of the 3 down to the foundations. We've also dug an inspection hole as well to the bottom of the foundations. So we want to have a look at this with the inspector today and just agree on what we can do forward. Hopefully we can continue using the existing foundations, which to me look fine. So if we can do that, we might need to add some extra foundations because the actual builder did not build to plan. So the actual original walls, some of the walls are in the wrong place. So we need to rectify that. If we are doing that and using the existing, then we're going to have to tie in some new foundations to it. So I'll have to discuss about how we can tie those in as well. So yeah, basically the goal for me today is for us to get an agreement with the existing foundations and also an agreement of how we're going to continue connecting to the new foundations. So that's it now really. So I'll quickly just pop in there quickly while I'm waiting, and I'll quickly show you what I'm talking about. It might make a little bit more sense, and then hopefully I'll give you guys an update after I've had the conversation with the inspector. So yeah, let's pop inside. All right guys, so this is where we are on site. So if some of you guys remember, one of the remedial works was to do originally was this outer wall here, which was built in thermalite blocks and wasn't rendered. Obviously there's no way you could render behind there. That was, we were told to take this wall down and rebuild it, and rebuild the outer walls in brick, and obviously the inner walls could be in thermalite again. So we've obviously taken that wall down, and then we've obviously decided that we're just gonna knock everything down. So we took that wall out as well. Most of this wall was going to come down anyway because the cat nick was not acceptable. There was a cat nick above the bifold which had to come out and be replaced with a steel anyway. So we've just taken the whole thing down. So the only walls that are really here now are this wall here. But just the cavity wall insulation is done so bad. The DPC is wrong. So it just needs to all come down anyway. Another issue with this wall is, it's really hard to explain because the builders just done stuff that didn't need to be done. The original wall of the house used to be here. There was sort of like an extension, sort of a wall all the way from there. You can see the foundations of it here. And I think it came out to about here, or about here somewhere. And then it went across, returned across to there. So that was the original. This section was supposed to be extended by about 3 meters in line with this extension. So it would have just been one small extension there, and then coming off the side there were going to be a side extension which went to the end of the house and came out 6 meters, which would be somewhere around here if I'm correct, right? So there would have been an additional piece on the side which was totally separate from that extension. They weren't connected. We still would have had some original wall here, and this bit would have come out, and then what would have happened is a section of the wall from about here down to the end would have been removed, and then there would have been a steel going across, and it would open the main space into this section, and then also this section here would have had a steel running across it and open into this side. So that is what actually is on the plan, and that's what we're supposed to be building. So moving forward with it, we're just going to take this all out and we're going to do it how it was meant to be. So we'll rebuild this wall back to here, and then we'll turn it into here, and then we're going to come back across here and then back to here. So all this foundation here now is kind of pointless, and also the drainage will be back outside, which is where it's supposed to be. So just trying to explain what I meant about the connecting the foundation. So obviously if these foundations are fine, what I would like to do is to dig a foundation trench here and here back to there, and hopefully we can connect from there to this section and then connect it to there with some sort of rods or something like that, some steel rodding or something, and tie them together. So that's what I'm hoping that we are allowed to do. If we are, then we can get back onto the foundations, we can get onto here, we can get onto there. There will be a build over here because there's drainage running this way. So it'll be a build over there and then a straight strip of foundation and tie it into that one. And hopefully then that gets us into foundation level and we can start building back up. But yeah, we are going to have to take this wall down and rebuild this wall at the same time. So that's it. So yeah, right now it's just a waiting game. Wait for the inspector to turn up, and once he does, then we can go through this and get some solutions. Hi guys, so I'm done now. So we've been going through this for about half an hour. So a lot's happened. I'm going to quickly explain what I can. So basically, building control told me he's got loads of notes on this. He's a new guy taking over this. I think the other person's left. So he's sort of all new to this job. So he said he's got tons of notes that he has to go through. He said there was lots of issues flagged up on this job over time. And to be honest, I think they are all the issues that we were already aware of, because we were given a report from the council that had a load of issues, which we had to then pass on to, well, the owners passed on to the structural engineer, who addressed all those concerns and made a list of remedial works, which is when we came in to do. And then we've just basically found out that there's just loads of other things and everything just needs to come down, you know. So I've explained to this guy, structural building control, that basically we just want to take everything down. So we're not going to deal with all these little issues, just take it all down. But we want to be able to build on the foundation. So we've all had a look at the foundation. There was an inspection for the foundation, which I was hoping. So the foundations are fine. The only thing is some of the walls are not in the right place. So it means we have to dig some new foundations and we tie it into the existing foundations. So I've discussed that with him. He's fine with that, and he's also given us the guidance of how he wants us to tie that in, putting some rods in, etc., etc. So we've agreed that. Also, one of the other issues is the manhole that I knew had to move. He wants that moved as well. Unfortunately for me, he wants it done in brick. So it's not as straightforward as doing sort of and he wants the pipes done in clay and everything. So I wasn't really expecting that, but we're gonna have to do that. So anyway, I'm gonna quickly just show you what we got to do. All right guys, so as I said, our foundations are here, which are fine at the moment. So what we're gonna do is, the foundation is now gonna run across here, and you can see some of the foundation here as well. It runs across here, and then it's gonna turn back where it used to be, where the original house foundation was. It's gonna turn along here, and then when we get here, it's going to turn in like that. Oh, well, it's actually going to be a little bit further in, actually. It's going to come here, and it's going to turn in just right near to the edge of that window there. That gives us our 6 meters this way. It comes in here like this, and then it turns straight up here, straight to there. So when we take these blocks out here as well, I'm going to see what's underneath, because I have a feeling from having a conversation with another guy here, there may be some foundations. It might have originally run here. I can't remember. I've got to see. We've got to take this off and see what's going on with that. But that's the foundations. So we need to get that dug out. Then we need to drill resin bars into that old foundation there, and we need to drill them into the foundation there as well. And then when we get that all ready, then he can inspect it. But before we get him in to inspect, we're also going to move this manhole. So at the moment, it looks like the pipes just flow that way. It flows from the house into this chamber, and then it flows out. There's nothing coming from the sides. There's no neighboring one coming out. So this isn't a shared drain. which is good for us as far as working on it. We can work on it without neighbours flushing the toilets and all that stuff. But he wants this whole thing broken out. He wants the clay pipe to be extended through to here, and then we need to find the other end of the clay pipe, which is probably here somewhere. I'm not sure if it turns or if it joins somewhere, I'm not sure. And then we need to dig a massive hole and build a brick manhole here, like what's over there. That's what he wants. He wants it in brick, and he wants the pipe to be in clay and run in there. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. So we are now going to make a plan of how we're going to do this. I think the first thing will be to do the manhole, move the manhole, build that, run the pipe work into it, because our foundation is going to be quite close to that manhole. So for now, we just need to move the pipes and then do our manhole, do our foundations, and then we have to do a build over there as well. And we need to check here and make sure there's a build over here if the pipes do come this way. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's it. I'm really hoping that for some reason, I mean, it might be weird, but I don't know. But I'm just hoping that this pipe turns and goes that way for some weird reason. I don't know. You never know. Because I'm finding it hard to believe that this pipe is running this way and all the way that way. Because, I mean, where is it going to? And we never saw any pipes when we were digging up there. Actually, we didn't get that deep, but I don't know if it's tapping into a line somewhere there. I don't know. We've got to do a lot of digging to find out. But I'm happy that we've had the conversation and we've got some sort of movement on direction of what we can do. So that, guys, that is it. I just wanted to give you guys the update on this nightmare job. But I think, to be honest, once we get past this stage, then it's going to be so much more easy after that, you know, just getting the foundations and the drainage done. Once you get those groundworks done and we've completely take out the rest of that wall, then we are good to go. So we're waiting for some structural calculations for the steel work, because the layout now has changed back to the original planning layouts. So we're waiting for the structural drawings to be done for the steel work. But in the meantime, we can get on with the manhole and we can get on with the foundations, and then we'll just take it from there. Obviously, we've got the garden house as well we're going to do. So I might wait until this is poured, is ready to pour, and pour both at the same time. I'm not sure. It depends on what our schedule is like. Or we might just pour the garden house and crack on with it at the same time. Alright guys, so anyway, I'm shooting off. I got to get back to the other job and meet the guys down there. They're doing demolition down there, so also there'll be a video on that today as well. So a busy day today. So guys, thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll see you soon. Take care.